Hello, apologies for the new settings and the late time, but I just got done watching Freelance, starring John Cena and Alison Brie, and I thought it would be really nice to just sort of say what I have about this film before I go to bed, while it's still fresh in my mind. Um, you know, growing up in the 80s, naturally I would be a big action fan, and I obviously am an action fan and a fan of the Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger era and their movies. I do think that Schwarzenegger had better films than Sylvester Stallone, um, but both were at the top of their game at that time. And I think recently we started to see a resurgence in action films, at least in the past 10 to 15 years or so. Um, one thing I would say about this film is that I was pleasantly surprised. I think John Cena is really coming up amazingly in the ranks as a new action star. And he's not just an action star, he's a charming on screen presence. He's a charming leading man. He's funny, he's witty, he has his own unique sense of humor. And one thing that pleasantly surprised me about this film, this is a movie about a man who is an ex Marine, and he's trying to live the normal life. He stopped being a Marine, he's back, he's doing a lawyer, he's working as a lawyer. And he's just unhappy. He's married, he's got a kid, but he's just not fulfilled. He's not happy, and it shows you how that can affect you, and it can affect your personal life and affect everything that you're actually trying to protect by taking this job on. So it culminates into him going into, he was an ex-Marine or an ex-Army person, goes back to doing a lawyer's job, isn't happy. Now he's got a chance to go back and be in his element, essentially. So the movie really, that's the heart of the film. And then from there it picks up. He's sent by Christian Slater to a fictionalized Latin American country, I think. Over there, he meets the president. Anyway, I won't bore you with the plot details and stuff, but he has to protect Alison Brie, who's a reporter over there. Now, watching the trailer, and just, it's a John Cena action movie, etc., etc. I didn't think it was going to have much of a story. I didn't think it had much of anything really. Just a chance to blow up a few things and for him to be a bit funny in front of the camera, and that's about it. And that's what I was expecting. And I was pleasantly surprised that that's not all the movie has to offer. This movie has a story, albeit a simple one that's suitable for this type of film. It doesn't get in the way of the fun and the action. Essentially, that's why we go to the movies, to be entertained. It's very entertaining. The performances are very endearing, and the action is really fun. In fact, one thing I would like to say about the action, this movie reminded me quite a bit about, reminded me a bit of Commando, the Schwarzenegger film. You know, something about it, just kind of, it had certain elements that kind of called back to that film. Uh, what can I say? This is a movie that I was really enjoying watching all the way through, and like I said, I was just pleasantly surprised. There were a few moments here and there where the action may have been a bit cheesy. Certain things where I kept telling myself, I can't believe that they're still doing that in action films. They're not deal breakers, nothing. I can tell you right now that when you have hundreds of bullets flying, and our heroes, all they do is just that, and they just try and dodge it, and no bullet touches them. Well, that is part of the fluff. That's part of the magic of action films. I don't expect it to be realistic, but it does kind of at times feel a bit cheesy. Like, yeah, I mean, really. And I would have thought that they'd probably find a way around making that a little bit more, not realistic, but a bit more um, acceptable, maybe, to audiences of this day and age. But there were one or two things that I looked at that told me that I was watching a movie that was a bit from like the 70s exploitation films, like that cheesy. But there were very few, nothing to pick on. Overall, very fun action movie, just as fun as the 80s and 90s action flicks we used to watch as kids. Definitely go and check this out. Um, my rating for this movie, I rate Freelance an 8. Go watch it. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more videos coming soon.